My name is Cassie Owens Moore, and I'm coming to you today to talk about another potentially banned book. And I say potentially banned because I've only heard about it being banned in Texas. And so there's just potential for it to be banned. I hope not. I hope it's not banned everywhere, but I want to talk to you today about Anne Frank's diary, the graphic adaptation. I think a lot of people have already read the diary of Anne Frank, probably in school. And so this graphic adaptation, I think, seems to be another. I won't say a truer voice, but it's just her voice in a different way. That's probably the only way that I can explain that. If you're not familiar with graphic novels, they're extremely popular. This is what they look like. So you have your pictures and your words, and sometimes people call them comics. They're different from comics because I think comics, they're kind of more like a little sliver of a story, whereas a graphic novel is a whole novel. It is a whole story. And I don't say that to be insulting to comics at all. You just have all these different episodes of your comics, whereas with your graphic novels, it is a complete novel. It is a story. It is a book. And there's so many benefits to graphic novels, and I'll save that for another video. But I really wanted to talk about this book, this graphic novel, and why it's banned. And so I have my bookmarks in here to hold my places. So in this graphic novel, she's really exploring puberty, because during this time she's in hiding with her family when they're hiding from the Nazis. She's going through puberty, and so her feelings, her thoughts, her development didn't stop just because she was in hiding. And so this is taken from page 90, and it's Thursday, January 6, 1944. And it says, "Dearest Kitty, yesterday I read an article about blushing. It was as if she'd addressed it directly to me. During puberty, girls withdraw into themselves and begin to think about the wondrous changes taking place in their bodies. Whenever I have my period, I have the feeling that in spite of all the pain and discomfort, I'm carrying around a sweet secret." And so in the following pictures, it says, "Everything all right? Why the smile, Anne? Everything is lovely. Thanks for asking. But I had these feelings even before my period. I remember particularly one time when I spent the night at Jackie's. Jackie, could we show each other our breasts? Why? As proof of our friendship. Absolutely not. If only she had known my terrible desire to kiss her." Now, these are her thoughts. These are Anne's thoughts. And no one's embellishing, no one's adding, no one's trying to create an agenda. This is from her diary. These are her thoughts that she had. And I don't think they should be minimized or anything like that. That's just what she's thinking. And it's okay. And it's okay because that's part of puberty. That's part of the whole development process. And then a little bit later it says, "Dearest Kitty, my longing to talk to someone has become unbearable. Peter, come in, please. Maybe you could help me." And so they are creating this puzzle, she and Peter. And so Anne says, "I wanted to say, how come I never noticed how deep and beautiful your eyes are? How come I didn't see how gentle and sensitive you are?" And so she's beginning to kind of notice these things about Peter because he's the only male her age in this space. And so, while they're hiding, and so she's developing these feelings for Peter. She's figuring out these feelings about herself. She's kind of reveling in all these changes in her body. And that's what happens during puberty. And so, people can be upset about the inclusion of those thoughts, but those are her thoughts. And that's what I think makes this, her diary so fascinating. It's a glimpse inside her mind. It's a glimpse inside, what's going on within Anne, even in the midst of this horrific period of this trauma and this fear that's surrounding her and her family. She's still thinking about love. She's still thinking about, her future even. And I think that's beautiful, that, she's still a girl. She's such a girl, just going through this incredibly painful, terrifying experience. And here she is, just still being such a teenage girl. And I feel like there's something that we could kind of learn from that. I would like to say to the people in Texas, though, that I find it amazing that would be that those pages of where she's talking about her body and she's talking about her feelings and she's talking about, just becoming a young woman, that would be the focus, and that would be the thing that would cause them to ban it. Not all the horror that's going around, not all the pain and the suffering and the killing and the murder that's happening to the Jewish people, that trauma just outweighs anything that she's thinking about herself. I'm so glad I bought this. I'm so glad I bought this. I'm not a very big graphic novel reader, and it's not for anything other than the fact that I have ADHD, and it's sometimes hard for me to concentrate on the right thing because I'm looking at everything. But I was able to read this. It's so well done. It's such a beautiful piece of literature, and it's such a beautiful glimpse into how this one girl is just clinging to some sense of normalcy in a time that was definitely not normal. And I think that there's a lot of lessons that we could learn from Anne. I think there's a lot of things that we could discuss. And I think that for some students, this just makes her more personal. Sometimes when we hear about these figures in history, I think we create something about them that doesn't make them seem as human. And this book kind of reminds us that she was just a girl. She was a beautiful young woman on the cusp of womanhood when all of this happened to her and her family. So this is Anne Frank's diary, the graphic adaptation. And I hope that you'll add it to your shelves, add it to your collection. Just check it out and read it for yourself. If you're someone who is really concerned about the state of censorship and what's going on with censorship, there are a number of ways you can get involved. You can join the South Carolina Association of School Librarians at an associate membership, but you can also become a part of the SCEA, the South Carolina Education Association, because this is what we're committed to fighting. We are committed to making sure that students have the opportunity to learn history in an accurate way, that they have the opportunity to access materials and resources that will help them grow and engage and develop. And so if that's something that you want to be a part of, and if you are a part of the school district educational system, please consider joining the South Carolina Education Association. We need your voice so that we can keep books like The Diary of Anne Frank or Anne Frank's Diary in the hands of our students. Thank you so much.